All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we have fellow Canadian independent hip hop artist, man. We got the one and only Fortunato right here, live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to be on the show.
Hey, man, it's definitely good to have you on the radio station, man. It definitely is. I always love interviewing Canadian hip-hop artists, man. It's always good interviewing people from other countries, man. But when you get to interview talent from your homeland, that's a blessing right there in itself.
Absolutely, I agree, man. It's great to be on the line with a. I didn't even know if where you guys were located. You have such a kind of an international flavor, like you're always playing different music from all over. So, but that's cool to find out that we're both Canadian, and yeah, got to support homegrown talent.
Hey, man, I most definitely agree, man. We're out here in Prescott, Ontario, so it's definitely a small little town, but we're closer to the Ottawa region.
Oh yeah, I've been to Prescott a couple of times. I've done a lot of shows out in the Ottawa area, and that's usually a place where we stop halfway on our way there just to gas up and whatever. But yeah, I've been in there a few times, and yeah, cool little spot.
Hey man, but I want to take you back to the beginning of your amazing career, man. And I have to ask first and foremost, like, what actually made you decide to get into the music industry initially, man? Because you're such a talented individual.
Well, you know what? Music was never really my calling in life. I didn't do well in music class in school, and I'm not really. I don't play any instruments, so there's, I kind of think of myself more as someone who's always enjoyed poetry and just creative writing in general. So, it just kind of took shape. Like, I had a passion for hip hop. I really enjoyed listening to it. I didn't actually see myself doing it professionally. It was just something that kind of came together. We did it for fun, just at parties and things like that. But then, there was a group of us that we all rapped together, and one of the members of that crew was an artist named Ilda Shiesty, and he was murdered back in around 2006, or maybe it was even longer ago than that. But when he was murdered, that really, like, we felt that we wanted to kind of turn the grief into something productive and something that we just pay tribute to him. And so yeah, we started writing and actually making songs and hitting up producers, and yeah, it's been constant ever since.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, my sincere condolences on your loss, man. Because I heard of him as an artist, man, and he is another talented individual. I actually did not know that he passed away, so that's definitely a shock to me.
Yeah, Ilda Shiesty was super talented. He was the youngest in our crew, and yeah, it was really tragic what happened to him. But his whole thing was he wanted to be a professional rapper. The rest of us were just kind of like toying with it, but he actually, he was doing everything he could to get off the street and to try and make it as a rapper. So we wanted to kind of, pay tribute to that, keep his legacy alive. And so we did that through, the group Angerville, which was my first group that I was in. And then, that was kind of the driving force behind that. And then, later on, of course, I became a solo artist, but that's definitely was the moment that things became, more tangible, more real.
And also as well, man, you are actually great friends with Fredro Starr of the legendary hip-hop group Onyx. I was wondering, how did yourself and Fredro initially get connected, man? And of course, what was it like just working alongside him for over a decade?
Yeah, you know what? It was we got connected as I was a tour manager for their Canadian tours, usually just for like the Ontario legs, the leg of the tour through Quebec and stuff like that. And so as a manager on the road with Onyx, I learned a lot about the industry, and he kind of took me under his wing, and he really became kind of like a father figure to me, when we were on the road, and he gave me a lot of advice when it came to music. And I have a song with him coming out next month, so we have a video for it and everything. So it's great that it's 10 years of friendship, and then being able to actually collaborate with someone I grew up listening to. It's really come full circle, and I feel truly blessed for all the opportunities and the people that I've been able to meet, and for being able to do it for as long as I've been doing it, and I'm still quite passionate about the music, so hopefully just keep it going as long as we can.
And you guys as well also share the same publicist as well, and that's how we got connected, is actually through MJ's Hip Hop Connects. I was wondering, how did yourself and her get connected? And of course, what is it like just having an international, all-star publicist like her actually, like doing your bookings?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because we kind of like we never really spoke, but we were kind of aware of each other. Obviously, through Fredro, I noticed a lot of the press releases and stuff were going through her, and I was like, okay. Yeah, I just decided to just message her on Instagram and be like, hey, like we have some mutual friends, and I'm looking for somebody to try and like to get the music out to as many people as possible. It's always, try and hit up as many outlets and make sure that people are actually, enjoying the music. And so she's been a great conduit in that respect as far as getting me plugged in with, outlets such as Outlaw Radio and then other, media websites that I probably wouldn't be connected with if it wasn't for her. So yeah, it's been great.
And also as well, I actually read that back in that you actually had the opportunity to actually tour with Psycho Les of the Beanuts, man. I was wondering, what was it like just being on tour with him, and of course, just being able to work alongside another fellow legendary artist?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that tour was a long time coming. There was a lot of opportunities for me to roll with the Beatnuts before, but because of timing or whatever, it never happened. So I felt like, it was definitely in the later stages of the Beatnuts, as far as a duo. I think they're not really working on any new music, but Psycho Les has always been a prolific beat maker, and I know he's doing a lot of production for Vinnie Paz and Action Bronson and guys like that. So yeah, it was just cool. And again, he's just a really cool, down to earth guy. He likes his craft beer, he likes to he likes to go out and eat, and he likes to go shopping and stuff like that. So we went to Quebec City and we kind of like hit up the department stores, and just go browsing and checking stuff out, and then like maybe grab a burger and a beer afterwards. He's just a super nice guy, and it's just super talented as well.
And also as well, I actually read that you actually won an award for Best International Hip Hop Video over at the Golden Sneakers Film Festival that was actually in Hamburg, Germany. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about that night. And of course, how did it feel actually being on the other end of the globe, accepting an award?
It's crazy because, like, again, Onyx was performing at that film festival. It was a film festival, but it was also like there was a big concert happening. It was a really, it was really just a cool event. And so the guy, Maximilian, he actually used to live in Canada at one point, and I think that's how I had him on my friends list, because I know he's always been into hip hop and he used to live in Vancouver. And I saw, Onyx is performing in Germany. I was like, I haven't seen them in a bit, and I know it'll be cool because we have that connection. And so yeah, I just submitted my video, and I didn't really expect to hear anything back because that's just the nature of award shows in general. There's so many submissions, very, unlikely. I didn't think that, a German outlet like that would be able to cover it, and they did, and they were just like, yeah, come on out. And, it was a great experience. It was my first time in Germany, and in a place called Reeperbahn, and which is like kind of like the German Las Vegas, I'd say. Like maybe not so much gambling, but just definitely a wild nightlife that they got there. So it was really cool. I actually connected with a bunch of other artists who were there. Shout out to my brothers who are MC Sites, who lives in the UK but used to live in British Columbia, and so, yeah, it was just so great to meet like artists from all over the world who were there, and it was an honor to win that award as well.
And I gotta say as well, man, like just being able to go from Canada all the way to Germany must have been such a mesmerizing type of vacation, man. Like, how long were you out there for? Was it just kind of like a slide into the award show and out, or did you actually stay for a little while and be able to absorb their culture?
Yeah, I stayed for about a week, so I did do a lot of just walking around the city, you know, in Hamburg, and just checking out all like the old churches and the different architecture and stuff, and other hip hop events that were going down at the same time. I was able to like check out some of those events, and yeah, I know it was really a great experience culturally, and you know, I always try to make the most of my time when I'm traveling abroad. You know, especially now that that COVID has locked down so much of the travel. It's been about 2 years since I've been able to do any real touring or anything. So I'm, you know, really, I'm glad that I took the time to actually, you know, get to know the cities that I was in, and do some sightseeing and take lots of pictures, and you know, share it all to social media so that other people could like experience the journey as well.
And also as well, man, December 18th of 2015, you actually teamed up with Sean One to actually release the Blue Collar EP. I was wondering, man, how did yourself and Sean get connected? And of course, what was it like collaborating with him on that particular project?
Well, Sean One's, he's the best. Like, he's one of my, I think, out of all the producers that I've worked with, Sean One's beats always bring out the best in me. And, you know, that was, I had kind of hit a roadblock as far as, you know, my career in Toronto, and you know, I felt like it was time for a change, so I moved out to New Brunswick, and my buddy Fresh Kills, he was like, well, if you're going to be in New Brunswick, you have to talk to Sean One. He's the man, you know, he's the guy there. So we started talking online, and then I went by the studio, and that's one thing, you know, he'd always want to record in person, so I'd be driving across New Brunswick every other weekend to go record with him, and yeah, it was the Blue Collar EP was the, you know, the culmination of all that effort. And you know, I've stayed in touch with Sean One, you know, throughout the years. We actually just did a couple shows together out in Halifax and Moncton last month, so it was great to go out there and reconnect with him. And yeah, we got the sequel to Blue Collar coming out next year on Black Buffalo Records. So if people are fans of the first one, then I think that the new one's going to be even better.
And also as well, April 24th, 2020, yourself and another phenomenal artist by the name of Dirty Dane actually released a phenomenal EP titled Guiding Light in a Dying World. I was wondering if you can shed some light on that amazing project, and of course, where can we actually buy or stream it today?
Well, it's available on my Bandcamp, so if you go to fortunato.bandcamp.com, you can get it there, and it's on all the streaming services as well. So that's a place where people can get a taste of it, get a listen, and if they want to go purchase it on Bandcamp, obviously that's from an artist's perspective, that's, you know, the best way to help support us and everything. And yeah, like Dirty Dane, he's another guy from Halifax. I've met so many artists from the East Coast since I lived out there, you know, for that period of time, and it was just like nonstop. I couldn't believe how many people were doing hip hop out there. It was really surprising, and so yeah, he's just another artist that I had met on my travels from the East Coast that, you know, we wanted to get it done, and he does like definitely a different sound than what people might be used to listening. Well, when they're used to hearing from me, like it's not boom bappy, it's more like this neo soul kind of vibe, but I enjoyed it. It was definitely a departure from what I'm used to doing.
And I gotta say as well, I really loved your guys' chemistry on that particular project, man. Yourself and Dane, you guys really had that, like, you know, like that just that vibe when, you know how you hear two artists together and you're like, man, this is actually a project that needs to be heard again. I have to ask, man, do you guys plan on doing anything else? Because I gotta say, a part 2 to that record would be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, we've discussed it. You know, we've been talking about it, and hopefully we can make it happen. Because, like, I mean, I don't see why not. I've just been busy. Like, we just put out the Moonwater album, and so yeah. And then I have a lot of features that I've been doing as well. So yeah, you know, and there's a ton of videos I still got to release. But it's just a matter of not overloading myself and being able to like say like, okay, yeah, we got some time. Let's get it done, and I want to make sure that it, you know, lives up to the level of quality of the first one. So, you know, definitely like to take my time with it when I'm writing a sequel to something, because I don't want to make something that's, you know, half measures, you know, not quite up to what people would be expecting.
And also as well, just last month, August 6th of 2021, you actually released a 10-song album titled Moonwater. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about this phenomenal record. And of course, is there any hard copies available? That way our old school listeners that still love that CD format can actually snag themselves a hard copy.
Yeah, blackbuffalorecords.ca. That's the website, and you go there. It's available on vinyl, and it's also available on CD. The CD actually has a couple bonus tracks that are unreleased, and so we couldn't fit them on the record because of just the you only get so much room on there. So we had to keep a couple tracks off of it, but we thought we'd reward people who actually want to purchase the CD with a couple bonus tracks. So yeah, and that's my most recent release. It's with another artist named Lavender. She's from PEI. And then an old friend of mine who used to be my hype man named Scrimmage, he kind of appears on the album. He's on a few tracks on there. And it's produced by Gam Shooter, he's my basically the first producer I ever worked with, the first guy who actually sent me beats. Before that, we were just rapping on whatever instrumentals we could find. And so, yeah, it was great to bring things full circle, work with my OG producer from back in the day, and then, have a couple other artists with me on it. And, yeah, it's real, it's kind of like this dark mysticism. It's like, that's why the title's Moonwater. Lavender's really into, kind of like, I guess, witchcraft, things like of that nature. So she brings that vibe, and yeah, it's kind of a spooky record. I think there's some very positive tracks, some very not political, but definitely we delve into some of the things that current affairs and things in the world that that we kind of have our own commentary on. But yeah, it's a grimy kind of old school hip hop, dark sounding vibe. So if you're into stuff like that, Snow Goons or anything of that nature, definitely check it out.
And I gotta say, the one track on that record that I personally vibe to is actually "Pass the Mic." I love that song, man. Most definitely my favorite out of those 10 songs.
Oh, thanks, man. That's the one that we chose to shoot the video for, but it was kind of a consensus. Everybody was, they say, well, which one should we shoot? And Lavender was like, I like Pass the Mic. Scrim said he liked Pass the Mic. So I was like, okay, let's do that one. Seems like everybody's vibing to it. And yeah, the reaction from listeners has been very positive. So yeah, I'm glad you're feeling that track. And, I'm hoping we can release some more videos, some more singles, before the end of fall or whatever.
And also as well, man, I have to ask, I do know that you have so much history within the music industry, man. Your roots run deep within this hip-hop thing, but I have to ask, man, what is next for yourself, Fortunato, man? Is there anything we missed, anything else you still want to talk about or promote? We'll just have you here live on 97.7 FM this evening.
Well, you know what? It's the Blue Collar album will be coming out next year. We don't have a date set for it yet, but that'll be my next release, and I'm quite proud of it. We'll put a lot of work into it. We're actually just securing some features for it. We want to make sure that it's got some really banging features. So yeah, look out for that on Black Buffalo Records, and then Moonwater's out right now. You can go to blackbuffalorecords.ca and order that on vinyl. The vinyl is beautiful. It's like a blue marble on it. So the artwork is phenomenal. Joey Green did the artwork, and his work is amazing. He just kind of does the old school comic book style, but with a hip hop influence. So yeah, check that out. And yeah, I did. I got to do my first 2 live performances in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick over the summer. So it felt great to get back on the stage, and I'm hoping that things will continue to open up, and that I'll be able to, do a Canadian tour again, and kind of get out and see all the people that I haven't been able to connect with in person, and just keep the vibe going.
And I gotta say, it most definitely will be good to get back to the concert scene, man. Because as you already know, you're here in Canada as well, man. So you feel the same pain as me. It's they keep locking us down, man. So hopefully we can actually get back to relatively normal life sometime soon.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping, that we can get back to doing some more shows, and I can get out there. And it's always a blessing to be able to rock the mic and, bringing the music to people, and meeting people in person. You can't beat it. So, yeah, I'm just hopes for the future. Hope things keep getting better. And, yeah, then I'll be popping by in your cities out there soon enough and just doing what I do.
But also as well, this is the time that this is the time right before I wrap things up that I give a chance for the individual that takes over the radio station airwaves, just like a chance to give like shout outs to whomever they want to give shout outs to. But most of all, man, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything you got going on if they're not already doing so.
Yeah, well, you can follow me. I am Fortunato. That's my handle on Twitter, Facebook.com/I am Fortunato. That's my name on Instagram. Basically, all social media, I am Fortunato, and it'll take you right to me. And yeah, I know on the streaming services there might be quite a few Fortunatos, and it seems to be a pretty common name when it comes to like musicians. So if you find you're listening to the wrong Fortunato, you'll know it. There's pretty much. I think I'm the only one that's actually rapping. So if you hear anything other than rap, then it's probably someone else. But yeah, follow me on all of those, all the different platforms. I'm pretty accessible. If you have any questions about the albums or whatever, people listening, feel free to hit me up.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for just taking the time out of your busy evening and coming on 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM this evening, man. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege. And hopefully down the line we can actually make this happen again sometime soon.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to doing this interview. I've been listening to the radio ever since, and I was listening to the station, and I was like, you know what? You guys have been steady with the promo. You guys are always pushing the video, and pushing the interview, and I was like, oh, I love that level of professionalism, and the fact that everything was on time tonight is beautiful. So y'all just keep doing what you're doing, man. You're definitely making waves, and yeah.
Hey, man, I appreciate the love, man. At the end of the day, if I book an interview, I like treating everybody the same, whether you're a member of the Wu-Tang Clan or if you're an artist with like one song. You know what I mean? I always like treating every individual the exact same, man. Give everybody the exact same amount of promo. That way, everybody's happy.
Yeah, for sure, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's definitely, I respect what you're doing, and the grind, it shows, that's the proof is in the pudding, so yeah.
Hey, man, I appreciate that feedback. I appreciate it a lot, man. Thank you so much. And again, thank you so much for your time, and definitely, man, we got to make this happen again sometime soon, man. But for now, definitely have yourself a wonderful night.
All right, you too, man.